A song of songs is to be sung today for the 14th Sunday after Pentecost, taken from the Song of Solomon, chapter 2, verses 8 through 13. On this, the 29th day of August in the year of our Lord 2021. The voice of my beloved. Look, he comes, leaping upon the mountains, bounding over the hills. My beloved is like a gazelle or a young stag. Look, there he stands behind our wall, gazing in at the windows, looking through the lattice. My beloved speaks and says to me, arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. For now the winter is past, the rain is over and gone. The flowers appear on the earth, the time of singing has come, and the voice of the turtle dove is heard in our land. The fig tree puts forth its figs, and the vines are in blossom. They give forth fragrance. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. There was a time in black households everywhere, either in the rural South or in the urban North, on the East Coast or in the far West, that one might find a certain album universally admired and cherished for the silky tone and smooth, seductive eloquence of Nat King Cole's voice. His pitch was flawless, and his intonation was cream and sugar in your rich, rich, dark, dark, black coffee. Nat King Cole was a cultural totem for all of us, a marker for breezy, gauzy daring of America's race hatred and malice. We dared the world not to be bewitched by his easygoing, unhurried, and unthreatening lullabies and his serenades of love. Nat King Cole had a fetching way with a lyric, and we adored him for it in every way. And even now, long since his passing in 1965, he has proven to be unforgettable. Does anyone here still remember how the lyric goes? Unforgettable, that's what you are. Unforgettable, though near or far. Like a song of love that clings to me, how the thought of you does things to me. Never before has someone been more unforgettable in every way. And forevermore, that's how you'll stay. That's why, darling, it's incredible that someone so unforgettable thinks that I am unforgettable too. Now, I must admit, it's a tad schlocky, even sentimental, but still, there is no gainsaying that that song became a signature tune for Nat King Cole to perform. So much so that long after he died and his daughter Natalie became a singing sensation in her own right, someone, no doubt some recording executive, decided it would be a great idea to engineer the splicing of Nat's performance with a contemporary version Natalie would record of the same tune. And so it was that it became a loving tribute Natalie made to her father, and one that enjoyed some commercial success. In that way, the effort was market-driven, but it hit the mark to pull on so many heartstrings, as they say. In fact, I recall vividly how I would play this recording of father and daughter when my own daughter was still alive, and we would sing the parts of father and daughter to each other. And at the end of the record, we would both be laughing and crying and hugging all at the same time. Mandy has now been gone for 7 years, but in this father's love, she remains unforgettable. But now, let me ask you, do you remember when you fell in love? Do you remember how your stomach flipped and flopped? how the hair was raised on your forearms, and how the air seemed scented with cloves and spices? Do you remember that you had no taste for food, but how ravenous you were, just the same? Do you recall just how dry your mouth became, and how the heat of your brow made you sweat, even in a cooling gust of autumn's wind? Can you call to mind again how your senses plagued you with delicious yearnings for fruit and syrup, how they pushed for sweet and sour aches to find release and requited satisfaction? Can I preach about this? I mean, will you permit me to celebrate what Shakespeare called country matters? To say a word about the ecstasy that shakes the body and makes our carnal appetites so insistent. If you wish me to stop, you might as well ask Niagara Falls to stop its waters, their mad rush from top to bottom. You would have better luck to arrest Halley's Comet in its frantic dash from distant starlight to sun and back again. But sex is here, and is here to stay, if God's good creation has any say at all. Why, though, is this book here anyway, this Song of Solomon about young love, so explicit and unblushing about skin-to-skin intimacy? The Old Testament compilers did not excise it or cut it away, but left it there, without allegory and not one mention, I might add, of God. Not one. This is a love song, sung in the list of desire, an assignation of two lovers in the to and fro of call and response. And I, for one, have too much respect for these pantings and these heavings of breast and chest to simply erase them under the influence of literary motifs, metaphors, and figures. Here are two lovers seeking the consummation of erotic desire, the climax of sexual wonder, that earthly knowing the Bible always calls by its proper name, as in, and Jacob knew Rachel. The Bible is not ashamed of such matters, and it should make us wonder why we blush to hear it from the pulpit, though not from the pit. The Song of Songs is the open love letter to lovemaking itself. Leaping, bounding gazelles bring to mind the dexterity and the vitality of the lover, and trilling turtle doves suggest the cooing urgency of the beloved. Love is in the wind, and the earth is saturated in the bliss of its thrill. Why did God make the apple? Except to bite it. And why did God make the grape except to suck its juice for wine? And why did God make the figs to bloom, or the rains to fall, or the flowers to blossom, and the earth to roll and run its orbit to complete about our shining sun? Creation is self-sustaining in this steady motion of sea tides and swells on land of stag and roe. I heard one preacher once make light of this song. He called it the frivolous canticle of silly boys and girls. He used it as the Bible's lesson not to take ourselves too seriously, to lighten up and to take it easy every now and again. But I think he could not be more wrong. And not only because he used so many impotent cliches to make so flaccid a point. How limp can you be to put to jest something so serious as the regeneration of our own kind? I take the side of Frederick Buckner instead, who wisely insisted of sex that it had a powerful double effect. He wrote, "Sex is like nitroglycerin. It can be used either to blow up bridges or to heal hearts." There can be no disputing the powerful charge that sex sets off in human life, in all life of any kind. I noticed only moments ago, surely just moments ago, just outside my window, a butterfly and a host of bees busy with their business of spreading the nectar of a flowering bush, clinging to the corner. There, clinging, was the bush to the corner of my garage. Love indeed is what makes the world go round, and sex is an irresistible invitation to make it spin. What songs do you sing? What melodies can you summon with a whistle or a humming refrain? When you are sour or bright, what songs come to light your spirit from within? What tune insinuates itself with mirth and delight to bring forth the rapture upon first sight of your first true love under yonder shadow of fruited vine or towering tree? Was she trembling with her coy, "Come hither"? Or was he peacocking with his, "Come away with me"? Or was it the other way round for the two of you? Does the difference even matter? Or did you embrace at last and all the songs of love rang out in a joyous blast? A former student of mine, just days ago, posted to Facebook her charmed and wedded bliss with her husband now in their 25th year. She uploaded a montage of pictures commemorating each year of their marriage with a love song for her handsome buck playing over each one. I replied in my comment, my congratulations, and suggested a love song that came to mind. One I vividly recall from my own youth. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing, baby. Ain't nothing like the real thing. I wish I had sung it for you. And now, 35 years ago this month, I wed my own lady love, my Andrea, whose very name means courageous, brave, and warrior. It should be no surprise to anyone. When I think of her, I hear something Andrea Gibson wrote. Before I die, I want to be somebody's favorite hiding place, the place they can put everything they know they need to survive. Every secret, every solitude, every nervous prayer, and be absolutely certain I will keep it safe. I will keep it safe. That is my girl, through and through, and I am in love with her to this very day. I'll shout it from the rooftops and howl and bay at the moon tonight that the first sting of love still makes my soul shudder with delight. I love my Andrea. So I sing a song of songs, one I hear from yesteryear, composed by Johnny Mandel and Dave Frischberg. And I can see my Andrea's face, even when she is no one near. Here's how the lyric goes. In the evening, when the kettle's on for tea, an old familiar feeling settles over me. And it's your face I see, and I believe that you are there. In a garden, when I stop to touch a rose and feel the petal soft and sweet against my nose, I close my eyes and I suppose that maybe you are there. When I'm dreaming and I find myself awake without a warning, then I rub my eyes and fantasize, and all at once I realize it's morning, and my fantasy is fading like a distant star at dawn. My dearest dream is gone. I often think there's just one thing to do. Pretend the dream is true and tell myself that you are there. My loving Andrea means she is unforgettable. For I see her face everywhere, and maybe that is why Joanne Gavin and I love Gwendolyn Brooks as we do, that poet extraordinaire who dares her lover to forget her in her Song of Songs, to remember Sundays with his beloved. This is what she writes. And when you have forgotten the bright bread clothes on a Wednesday and a Saturday, and most especially when you have forgotten Sunday, when you have forgotten Sunday halves in bed, or me sitting on the front room radiator in the limping afternoon, looking off down the long street to nowhere, hugged by my plain old wrapper of no expectation and nothing I have to do, and I'm happy. Why? And if Monday never had to come, when you have forgotten that, I say, and how you swore if somebody beat the bell, and how my heart played hopscotch if the telephone rang, and how we finally went in to Sunday dinner. That is to say, went across the front room floor to the ink-spotted table in the southwest corner to Sunday dinner, which was always chicken and noodles, or chicken and rice, and salad and rye bread and tea, and chocolate chip cookies. I say, when you have forgotten that, when you have forgotten my little presentiment that the war would be over before they got to you, and how we finally undressed and whipped out the light and flowed into bed and lay loose-limbed for a moment in the weekend bright bedclothes, then gently folded into each other. When you have, I say, forgotten all that, then you may tell, then I may believe that you have forgotten me well. I mean, we do love Gwendolyn Brooks. But having heard all this, and if you heard it well, then might you sing the song that wells within your heart. Sing for creation's flowering fields, her rushing waters, and her vaulting skies. Sing for her creatures fair and bright, fierce and wild, for hanging gardens, and for men and women, and all those who unashamed all sing the body electric. Arise, my love, my fair one, and come away. Oh, man.